Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, it brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely, won't you start all reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning, and welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining me today. Happy Thursday, wherever you are. Please, as always, let us know that you are here. Let us know that you're joining in Storytime. And of course, let us know if anybody else is joining in with you. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate every minute that you spend with us, taking the time to be here with us on Storytime, carving out a little piece of your day every morning to be here with us and get to enjoy reading stories together, learning from each other, and of course, learning together. Thank you so much for joining in. And remember too that this week, and of course next week as well, we continue to celebrate Asian American and Pacific Island Heritage Month. So please join us, and also find out from your local library, find out from your locality, and just find out what can I do, how can I participate, and what is going on. Your libraries, I trust, are one of the best resources that you have. And of course, find out if your schools are doing anything around you. So thank you so much for joining in today. I am excited to be here with you as always. We do have an amazing guest, and also has become a good friend at this point, and also celebrating her brand new book, Night Market Rescue. Charlotte Cheng is here with us today. And of course, this one is illustrated by REN. And we're reading this one with permission of Rocky Pond Books, an imprint of Penguin Random House. So big book, beautiful book. And of course, here to celebrate together. And of course, learn a little bit more about the inspiration for this wonderful book, as you can see. And trust me, the story is as beautiful as the cover. Thank you so much for joining in today. And we'll be welcoming Charlotte very shortly. But thank you so much for being here. And again, just remind us too of what's coming up on Storytime. We know that we do have a packed lineup, and many more to come as well. Of course, today Charlotte is here. Brianna Kazoo will be joining us, of course, as well on next Thursday. And then Friday we will have Georgian Irvine, and with another beautiful book. And of course the series so far lined up, Amanda Davis coming back to Storytime after a while, this time with a brand new book, Moonlight Memories. And she will be here with illustrator of Moonlight Memories, Michelle Jing Chan. So excited for that, excited to be together with those amazing guests, amazing creators. Come and join Storytime. And then of course on June 3rd, we will be at Children's Fairyland for the Children's Book Festival. Lots of creators will be there, lots of fun. Come on out and say hi. If you're not in the Bay, well, let your friends who are close by, who are nearby, let them know that we will be down at Fairyland. Come and join us, come and have fun with us. It is an amazing lineup. I am excited for it. But of course, today, as you know, we have our special guest, Charlotte Cheng, joining us, and I am honored and excited to introduce her to you today on Storytime. Charlotte, welcome to Storytime.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be with you this morning. Yay!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. Oh my goodness. This book is like a little more than 2 weeks old. So it's like a little baby. That's how young it is. So
How different does this book feel, this book launch feel to others, like others that you participated in the past? I know you have two other
yes, yeah.
books,
No, this
so
one is the first what we say trade publication. So
uh-huh.
it's through Penguin Random House. So it felt like it was a village helping us like make this book come alive. There's like a team of over 10 people helping the books get into libraries and bookstores around the
Yeah.
world. The other bilingual books I did, it was self-published. So it was just me and my partner trying to get the books in, like online. That was like a really big feat. So it's a very big like feeling to be able to go into bookstores and see the book there and be
Yeah.
able to see it online and just it's been really really welcomed by a
Yeah.
lot of people, especially the Taiwanese community. I was just like I wanted to make sure they felt represented. And
Yeah.
so they were doing read alouds of it at the Taiwanese festival in San Francisco this past
Yeah.
weekend.
Oh,
So
that
yeah, it
sounds
just
good.
feels so good to have the story. It's been over 10 years to get this published.
Yeah.
So just so
Wow.
happy.
No,
Yeah.
congratulations. And I know too that in the Storytime community we have a lot of creators as well here, and just also just add in readers. And I think some of the best feedback, some of the best the excitement around books just really tells you that you're onto something here. And we love it. I love it. And I cannot wait for
Yay.
those that have not had a chance to read it yet to actually go through it today. But before we do that, let me just say good morning to people that we have as well. Good morning to you. How are you doing today, Ari? And of course, Megan out in Kentucky. Thank you so much for joining in. You're saying it is clear and sunny today out in Kentucky. Well, thank you so much for joining in. Charlotte bringing the sunshine out there today. Thank you so much for joining us, and love as always. Thank you. Good morning to you, Amanda. Where Sarah and Nathan out in sunny and muggy Illinois. Well, thank you for being here. And please, if you have questions for Charlotte, put them up, and we'll definitely try and get to them before we leave today. Thank you so much for joining in. Hugs to you, Sarah and Nathan.
Oh.
Always good to have you here. Pamela, Courtney, and of course, Chad, Braylon,
hi.
and Tian. How are you doing today out there in Nakitosh, Louisiana? Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Always good to have you here. Please get comfortable, get cozy, get ready. We'll be getting started with our story very shortly. And of course, a morning is not complete. The Barbies have to be here too. Thank you, Ari, for bringing them in.
That's adorable.
I love it. Thank you, Ari. And good morning to you out in sunny Massachusetts today. Thank you for joining in. Erin and Clara, thank you so much for joining in. I know the Celtics lost yesterday, but I hope that they bounce back for you today. Game two. I hope they bounce back. I think even in the last round they did the same. They might have lost the first game, and then yeah, but good luck to you for sure. If you are indeed Celtics out there. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely appreciate you. Good morning one more time, Erin and Clara, and of course, Tara McNamara. Thank you so much for joining us out in Massachusetts. Good morning to you. How are you doing today? Sharon Lungo, and of course, Soraya, right here in Oakland. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Please remember too that if you have any questions for Charlotte, please do put them up, and we will try and get to them as soon as we can. Oh yes, here it comes. Oh, the best. Thank you so much for joining in. Absolutely love it. Oh, Pamela Courtney. Our own Warriors here, we're outdone, and then the Lakers, the California team, lost the game 1-2. So Doncic. What's his name? Nikola Jokic with Denver. Oof. He is quite the player. But we'll keep watching for sure. You heard it here on Storytime first. I think the final is Celtics Lakers. I think.
Oh. Oh, that's gonna be a mashup. Oh, I'm not into sports, but I don't usually follow sports, but I already know that's gonna be epic if that happens. Yeah.
Well, Charlotte, we'll be back for more conversation for sure. But right now, you are reading to us.
Yay! All right. This is one of my. I was telling Peter this is one of my favorite things to do ever. Is to do read alouds. Oh, do you mind if I just show a few pictures first
Oh
before I
no,
hop into the
absolutely,
story?
absolutely, yes.
Right. No,
Please.
especially for the
Go.
kids out there. I wanted
Yeah.
to ask I love asking questions because I've been an educator. So just I want you to think, if do you have a dog in your life? Think about it. And if you have a dog in your life, feel free to put their name in the comments. How
We
old
have
they
a few
are.
storytime dogs. Yes,
Yeah,
put
we have
them up.
storytime dogs. Hi, dogs. So this book, Night Market Rescue, the main character is a dog. Um, Oh, thank you so much, Pamela. Yeah, no, so the dog actually was inspired by my very own dog named Waldo. That's Waldo. He's 6 years old. He's a
Oh,
very sweet dog. And
oh.
Waldo actually comes from a place called Taiwan. I'm curious if anyone's heard of Taiwan, but Taiwan is an island very close to China. And I'll show you how far Taiwan is. This is where we are. This is all the way in California. Oh, wait, this is where we are. Sorry, California, and then you have to fly all the way across the Pacific Ocean for 12 hours, which is what we're gonna do in October. 12 hours to get to this little tiny island named Taiwan. And most of my family is from Taiwan, especially from the city Taipei or Taipei, which is the capital city. And what Taipei is really, really famous for are these night markets. And they look like this. Check out this night
Yeah.
market.
Oh yeah, I've gotten to enjoy some of those. I love them.
Yes, Peter got to go to Taiwan, which is not
Mhm.
very rare. Not many people go from over here, but there's tons of food stands and treats and toys and clothes and all sorts of things like that. And it's a lot like a food or street fair. And it only opens up at nighttime because usually in the summer, especially, it's really muggy and humid during the day. Nobody wants to go out, but at nighttime, the streets just come alive. They close the streets up and things like that. So as a kid, whenever we went to Taiwan, my parents would always take me to the night markets. And as a child, I had really fond memories of the night market. So when I wanted to write a picture book, I decided to write about it. And I wrote it about called Night Market Rescue. And I wrote about a street dog that discovers a night market. So we're going to read that today. And like I said, it's written by me and it's illustrated by the very talented Amber Wren. Just you wait to see the illustrations there. So Peter, do you mind showing the slides and I'll start doing the read
No,
aloud?
absolutely. Yep, here we go.
And before I forget, so the character, the dog in this story's name is GoGo, which means dog in Mandarin. So I would love for you all, if you're having your breakfast, whenever you hear the word GoGo in this story, put up some ears, okay? Because Waldo has very pointy ears, and you can wiggle them around too. So I'll try and do it too when I'm reading the story out loud.
Oh, and too, Charlotte, just on that
Yeah.
too, for us in most languages in Zambia and just generally
Yeah.
in Zambia, and then I know too that in Zimbabwe, for those that speak Shona, Gogo is grandma.
No
Gogo
way!
is, yeah,
Oh,
there's like Gogo is,
that's
yeah, so
That's so interesting. Oh, that's so fascinating. Like,
yeah.
yeah. It's amma in Mandarin, amma.
Nice. And then we
So
do have some dogs as well. So we
yeah.
have
Oh,
Blue Pit there, Junior, and then we have Izzy.
oh, Izzy and Junior. Hi, Izzy. Hi, Junior. I hope
And
you
then we
enjoy
have
the dog.
some cats. We have
All
some cats.
right.
Oh
No, all right. There's
yes.
a cat. There's a cat in this story, so look out for the cat. Yeah, look out for the
And
cat.
Zoe, we've also featured Zoe's picture here on Storytime before, so definitely
Oh,
a part of us for sure.
yeah.
Yeah, and then there's Pax too, who's
Oh, grandma's
and
dog.
Erin and Clara's grandma's dog,
Yeah.
Pax. Oh, I love it.
That's
And then
awesome.
yeah, just awesome. Thank you. Just thought I should share that as well. Oh,
Yeah,
you.
no, yeah. Thank you for sharing their names. And again, if you have any questions about the story, I love answering questions. There are no bad questions. So if you or your kids have any questions while I'm reading the story, please put them in comments and I can answer them at the end. All right, here we go. When it's summer in the city, every day is hot and sticky. Little GoGo finds some shelter where he hides and rests alone. Poor GoGo. So GoGo's a street dog, so he's all by himself on the streets. Then a cooling breeze wakes GoGo, carrying scents both sweet and spicy. They all beckon him until he finds a place he's never known. And this red gate is actually a gate that's at one of their famous night markets in Taipei. There's a lot of different night markets, but this is one of the most famous ones, where the vendors wave and holler to the people strolling slowly past the stands and carts that line the blocks of Taipei's busy streets. Look at all that food. Yum. Oh, sorry. My camera blocked out the words for this page. Give me a second.
No, you're good.
Yeah, this is the first time we've done this. So he dives into the bustle and he weaves through rumbling scooters, sampling tasty, tender sausage bites while slurping ginger tea. Uh-oh, GoGo. It looks like, I don't know if you have a dog, you could go to Starbucks and get a doggy frappuccino. So that's what dogs look like when they're doing that. But in this one, they're drinking ginger tea.
Aw.
Yeah. And then all the strangers barely see him as he ducks behind each trolley, where he sniffs the baby bok choy and he chews on scallion stems. So bok choy and scallion are ingredients that we often use in Chinese food. Then he scampers and he chases. There's the cat. And just so you know, this cat looks a lot like Amber Wren's cat. So I love how the dog looks like my dog and the cat looks like Amber's cat. Into dark and lonely shadows, where he meets a scared, lost stranger and finally makes a friend. If you've ever met a dog, that's one of their favorite places to get scratches, right under their necks. Now it's GoGo's turn to beckon so his friend can see the wonder of the scents and sounds that can be found in tiny market stands. Oh, GoGo. Where the grandmas bargain briskly and the vendors work so quickly, while the boys blow bubbles in the air with sticky little hands. And here's a secret. I don't know if you can see that amma in the top left, our grandma with the black dress and the red flowers. That's actually my amma. That's the dress she wore to my
Aw.
wedding. So when we talked about grandmas in the story, I asked Amber, please, could you include my grandma? And of course, she kindly did. So that's a little secret. But the girl, she doesn't follow as she sees familiar faces who embrace her full of happy tears. Oh, she found her family. Now GoGo is alone. Poor GoGo. But she whispers to the strangers, who then turn to look at GoGo, and they call to him with open arms. Now GoGo's found a home. And this is also a really famous dish in Taiwan called niu rou mian. So I love how Amber put that in there as the final dish that the whole new family got to share together. But yeah, this is the story. And I came upon the story too because actually a lot of street dogs in Taiwan used to survive by getting treats and food from night markets. And many families ended up adopting dogs that they found at the night markets as well. So yeah, it's sort of based on true stories that happened in Taipei. But yeah, that's Night Market Rescue. I hope you
Aw.
all enjoyed it.
Yay.
Yay!
Oh, that is awesome. Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Congratulations. No, such a lovely book. And yeah, just reliving my time too, walking through that those markets is just so amazing. And I love that about just traveling also in just Southeast Asia, how they had a lot of the places you went to at the markets. And interestingly, you mentioned bargain in that, like, and that
Mhm.
was one of the exciting bits. Just and then what was interesting to me, I remember somebody saying to me, they're like, "Oh no, just feel free to taste," because you know how they offer you all the
Yes.
taste. They're like,
Yeah.
"Just taste some," and they're like, "Taste. You don't have to buy." I was like,
Yeah.
"Really?" Like, so I was like, "Yeah, just taste." And I went around, and by the time you're done, you're like, "Wait, I'm full now."
You're
Like,
full from all the samples. No, that's some of my
Okay.
favorite memories was just walking around with toothpicks full of samples from the different like carts.
Yeah.
And then usually there's not many chairs, so often you would buy the food and just sit on the sidewalk curb and just eat the food together like a family.
Yeah.
But yeah, and bargaining is totally an art. I'm still not very good at it, but they love it. They don't respect you unless you bargain. So they'll give you a price and you're like, "Oh, that's too much." And then you
Yeah.
sort of cut it down in half and you go back and forth. And
Yeah.
like my parents sometimes would even like pretend to walk away. That's
Good.
how
Yes.
serious they are about
Oh,
bargaining.
oh, I see Pamela Courtney. Let's get to Pamela Courtney's question,
Okay, yeah.
and then I'll tell you my bargaining story, one of my bargaining
Oh,
stories.
okay.
Yeah, but yeah, Pamela says, "What is your favorite treat at the night market?"
Oh, Pamela, that's so hard to pick. It's so hard. Can I do my top 3? I'm just gonna do my top 3. So I mentioned the sizzling sausage, and that is one of the most famous treats from Taiwan too. It's a Taiwanese pork sausage that they basically grill, and sometimes they'll slice it and they'll skewer it with garlic slices. So you're walking around with a skewer of like sausage and garlic slices going nom, nom, nom. And then you pair it with either boba, which is also invented from Taiwan. So you'll see it in the pictures that one of the women is drinking boba.
I
Or
didn't know that about boba.
yes.
I thought it was Korean, but yeah, no.
No, it's
We learn every
Taiwan.
day. We learn every day.
Claim to fame, that's right. And I have a launch party on Sunday. We're gonna have a boba bar because of that. And you can pair it with boba or something called ai yu, which I don't even know how to describe it, but it's a type of fruit. And when you open up the seeds and you like prepare them in a certain way, it's almost like jello, but it's like natural jello.
Oh, wow.
And they put it in a drink that has honey and
Yeah.
lemon, and it's so refreshing. So you have that sausage, you have the honey lemon,
Mm.
yummy. And then the last thing is squid jerky. I know, squid jerky, but they take squid and they slice it really finely and they dry it into these strips. Oh, it's so delicious. Like
Yeah.
when I think about it, I think of home. I think of Taiwan. So
Yeah.
those are my top 3 favorite
Oh,
treats from Taiwan.
oh, yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, for me it was anything fried. I was just like,
Yes.
yes, and there was so much. I was just going, whether it was seafood or just, squid or octopus, everything is just like so much.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
had like fried dough balls. Oh, like
Yes.
potato puffs.
Yes.
And they have fillings inside. There's noodle, like I said, beef noodle soup. So good. Like you just have to go multiple times because you cannot
Absolutely.
eat all of it in one visit.
Yeah.
There's just no
Yeah.
way.
No, there's no way. There's so
yeah.
much. Yeah, you're coming back with a bag just full of stuff. Well, at least I did. I'm just like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not. I can't
Yeah.
eat here. I'm done. But
No.
like, I'll still carry something with me.
Totally.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And then too, like, just you mentioned how different this has been, like putting this book out. But also interestingly, because I know like with traditional, and again, using that just loosely, but traditional publishing, I know that you rarely get to interact with the illustrator, but it sounds like you and REN got to have some interaction. How was that? Or how does that?
Yes, no. we still try to follow it, and it's just traditional publishing, they do it because sometimes the author and the illustrator does not get along, and it makes it very hard to make the book. And so what they try to do is they try to be like, the illustrator will submit her sketches or their
Yeah.
drawings, and then the publisher will share it with me in a PDF form, and I get to add comments or give feedback. But this was a very special case where it's such a personal story. So from the
Mhm.
get-go, I shared with my editor a Facebook link to my dog Waldo. Waldo's page. You can find him. His name's Dr. Waldo Butters Chingbenka on Facebook, and he's also on Instagram if you want to find him.
I think you have to say that slowly.
Okay,
Charlotte.
Dr. Waldo Butters Chingbenka, MD. That's his full name. So I shared a link with that to the editor, along with pictures that we took when we went to the night market. And I was writing this book for 10 years, right? Really iterating on it. And so one of my last trips I went, I took photos from the perspective of a dog, because I wanted to see what would a dog see, and that informed how I wrote it. So I shared those photos with the editor too. So basically Amber had like a folder full of very personal photos, photos of my daughter and my cousin's daughters for reference for the girl. So it almost felt like she knew me. And so when the book was done, basically I mean, so if there are any people who have known the Asian community, all the parents want their children to be doctors, and I ended up being an educator. So my grandpa was quite disappointed, because I went to Stanford and I became an educator, and he just was like, so I was like, hey, there's a doctor in the family. Here you go. Our dog's a doctor. Our second dog is a professor. She's Professor Carmen Sandiego.
Oh my goodness.
PhD.
But
anyway, I get distracted. But so anyway, so I felt like she knew me. And then after the book was done, all the illustrations are done, I started messaging her on Instagram, and we've just gone back and forth and learning about her cat. She did a custom illustration. We worked together on some activity sheets, which you can find online at charlotte.art, that go with the book. And so it's been really great. I can't wait to meet her in person one day too. It's very rare you can get an author and an illustrator to do an event together. So when you see something like that, definitely try and go.
I've tried.
It's so hard because of their schedules, right? So it's so cool that Amanda and Michelle are going to be there. That's very rare. We're all part of the same debut group, so they're amazing. I hope you go to that event. Yes, Peter knows my whole debut group. Apparently, I don't know. Like every time, I'm like, wait, that's also Tiffany Golden is from my debut group. But so it's so rare, but it's really cool to hear them talk with each other, because picture books especially are really like a dance between the words and the pictures. So when you see the two talking, it's like watching someone do a dance, because you hear them like, hey, when I write, I add sounds and textures and tastes that an illustrator, it's hard for them to do, and the illustrator can fill the space with imagery too. And so you don't want to repeat, actually you want the words to add to the imagery, not just repeat what's being seen. So things like that. So it was like a really fun relationship, and I can't like wait to do it again with other illustrators too.
I love it. And then I'd mentioned too that I had a bargaining story. So I'm in this was traveling with my partner at the time, traveling Zanzibar. And so we're out, or like biking and everything, and then my flip-flop broke. So I was like, where am I? And I to this day I still get my flip-flops from Zambia, because I feel like they are made just the way I like them, just the way I know them growing up, just the way flip-flops should be. You can't argue.
Sure. Okay. I don't know what flip-flops from Zambia are, but apparently they're the perfect flip-flop. Okay. I want to see this one day.
And I think in Zambia, you know what I'm talking about. And we have this even like Bata Shoe Company. They're a big shoe company. Like every school child wears Bata shoes, at least. It's BATA. I think it's originally an Indian company, I think. But they also do flip-flops. And so I have these flip-flops, I've had them for years, and they're walking around the beach. Of course, like eventually it breaks. And so I'm like, I need a replacement. And so walk over, to the market. And walk over to one of the stands, and they have a sign on there that is like flip flops 150, right? Like
Okay.
they it actually didn't say flip flops 150. They had a flip flop that was pinned to the wall, and it had
Yes.
150 on it.
There you
right?
go.
And
Yeah,
so I'm like,
that's
oh yeah, 150. But I walk up to them, and I don't speak Swahili. So like I walk up to them, and of course I like English is our only medium at that point. So I'm like,
okay.
hey, like I want flip-flops and
Yeah.
this. And the person looks at me, and actually I think I'd even grabbed one, like grabbed
Oh,
a
yeah.
pair from the table, and I
Yeah.
like flip-flops, and I take out 150, and he's like, oh no. 151. I was like,
No.
kidding.
What? Why would you add the one?
Like, no, so I was like,
What?
you're kidding me. Like I just did the walk away. I was like, no, we
Oh,
walk
no.
away. We
Okay.
started walking away. Then he starts kind of running after us. Like,
Yeah.
no, you can have it. You can have it. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, fine. So paid 150, got the pair. Then I was like, does that ever work? Like, would somebody actually pay you? Like,
Sometimes.
how'd you buy one? Only one?
No, that's very strange to have a list price and go up, because what in Taiwan, at least the night markets, it's the list price. You should walk away paying 20% off the list price.
Right.
And it's just really funny because it's like a dance where like I broke my backpack like you with your flip-flops during the trip. Like literally on the subway, all the stuff spilled out. And I'm like, no, I need to get a backpack. So we go to the night market stands and we like find there's a backpack, a whole booth, just backpacks. Like that's what it's like. And I see a back and we're looking through, and my parents are like, don't look excited when you see the backpack you want. Like, don't look at, you have to act. It's like an acting thing. So we're like looking around and I see the backpack and we had to like suddenly like, yeah, this is the one. And then we like, Jen was like, so, how much is this backpack? Like all in Mandarin, and they'll like go back and forth like, oh, it's 200, and you gotta haggle. We're like, ooh, 200, that's a lot. How about 100? She's like, no, I can't do it. I'm feeding my children, and all of this is just an act. It's a total like a show. And we go back and forth and you haggle, and then you finally, and they don't respect you if you pay full price. Like I've done when I've done it, they give you like this look, and I didn't understand it because I was a little kid and I would pay like full price, and my parents were like, you paid full price? What? How could you do that? Like I was like shaming my family for doing that, and they were like, no, let me teach you how to do this. So it's like a cultural thing a little bit. So it's really funny. I never seen it when they go up on the list price. So that's pretty. Wow, that's pretty bold.
No, I was shocked. I was like, no, this is not. But it was just so funny. And in the end, the guy actually laughed. As we were like, this is ever work. We couldn't really, like communicate fully, like with spoken word, but we were able to get around, and he was just laughing. I was like, does this really work? Like,
no, like especially not in Asia. But it's really fun too, because sometimes you'll say, well, what if I buy 3? What price will you give me? And so there's like a real fun thing where then you start like moving objects around together with the vendor. It's like, well, how about these 4? Like, how much is that? And so it's just like it's like you said, it's a way to connect with
it's a way to connect. And there's so much too, like just on the other side too, because I've been on the other side being the seller. When growing up, my mom had a stand in the market, because usually people will have their regular job and everything else, but they also have, like that side hustle.
Thing,
So this is my mom's side hustle. She had this, one of them. She had, we sold this, what is called salaula in Zambia, which is secondhand clothes.
Okay.
So you get these big bales of like clothes, whatever it is. It could be jackets, it could be shoes. Sometimes it's a mixed bag. They bring them over, and so we would open it at home, sort it into like what we think like each one by brand or whatever, and prices, and then take them to the market. And so our stand happened to kind of be a little bit inside on the center of the market. So sometimes you miss out on that traffic that is happening on the outside. There are people who just come in like, I don't want to go into the market with all the and everything. So they just want to pick stuff. And so what would end up happening is myself and my cousin Vincent, love him too. Like, he's 3 years younger than me, but we grew up together for sure. So myself and my cousin Vincent would get some of the clothes from our stand in the center of
Yeah.
the market and take them out to the outer limit of the market.
Oh, and like
And then
showcase it.
display them,
Yeah.
showcase them, and sell them there. But what we would do is, because mom would give you, the list price, like this
Mhm.
one is, let's say 10 kwacha, this one is this,
Yeah.
this one is this. And when we go out, we would always start at 5 more.
Oh,
So when people
see?
come out, you're like, oh yeah, this is 15. And I'm like, no, but I only have 12. And the price is
You're like,
actually
okay,
10.
fine.
You're like, well, and sometimes we'd actually like go all the way out. It's like, we're in this. And we'll be like,
Yeah.
can you go and ask mom if it's okay? And
Yeah,
then
no.
you run into the market, do circles, come back out, and it's like, she says it's fine.
It's like a game. It makes it so much more exciting than going to just a regular store and buying it. And if you have a local flea market near you,
Yeah.
you can have that. You can go and experience it too, because a lot of flea markets are the same. Like most people, it's like their side hustle. Like they just do it on the weekends.
Yeah.
And that is part of the fun of going, because a lot of it's secondhand items too. And so you could be like, I don't know, and you could do the whole thing. It's really fun. I really recommend it. And if you ever in Taipei, definitely, or Taiwan, there's night markets throughout the island.
Yeah.
Definitely try and find a night market, because
for
so
sure.
fun and so delicious. And that's why, like, when you had the clothes, it reminded me, the whole sample thing, that's how they get you, because they have the vendors, like they always send one person out to stand in the middle of the street to do the samples.
Yes.
And then that's how they like lure you into their stand. So like there's an art to that too. So it's just so fun. You can just sit on the sidewalk or sit on a chair and just people watch. That's half the fun too. So it's just, like, I love it. I love it. I can't wait to go back.
That. Thank you for sharing that. And then too, like, I know, I mean, you and I have worked on a task force together, and since this is not work, we won't really go into details, but I know that, we're trying to make sure that there's, like inclusion, diversity, and equity in our spaces, right? And yesterday I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw something where somebody had I think they'd requested a book, and they'd said something like, well, like and I'm really paraphrasing here, and I'll try and send you the full thing so you can look at it. But it was something like, either the librarian had said, well, like, we don't have a big Asian community in around here, so we can't have this book, or or maybe if we try a community that has an Asian community, then we can like send that book, our budget is small, and so on. And so just wondering, like, some of those, what are some obstacles that you've come across? Or also too, like, why is it important, maybe like two questions in one, why is it important that your book, even though it's set in an Asian country, even though it's written by an Asian person, like, why is it important that people still see your book, not just Asian people?
Yeah, no, and Amanda had a very similar question. If you want to post that one, I've been talking to my kids about the importance of audience and purpose for writing. How did you
Sorry,
decide?
Amanda, I should have just read the questions.
I know. I was just like, wait, Peter, I'm gonna +1 you with Amanda. So I'll tell you my story. So 10 years, right? 10 years. And in the beginning, it was a lot harder. Like, even 5 years ago, I would share the story and submit it, and they're like, oh, it's not approachable enough. And usually that's language for saying it's not mainstream enough. And I was tempted to try and be more mainstream, but I realized over time that the details often that are unique to your voice, unique to your culture, when you use those details, but then you combine it with common themes that kids around the world can connect with, that's the magic of the two. Because then kids, when they read, even if they're not Asian and they read Night Market Rescue, like you all did, I have a dog. I rescued a dog. I love food. I've been to a market like this. I have an amma. I like blowing bubbles, right? So having those items to share that, hey, no matter where you're from, there are pieces of our life, of humanity, where we can all connect. And that really, to me, really helps build bridges. So to me, it's, even if you're not Asian, it's important to read Asian books. It's important for your kids to read books about all sorts of different cultures, because quickly you're going to learn what's unique about those cultures, what's unique to those people and what they want to celebrate, and you'll learn something new. But even more importantly, you'll see how we can connect and
Right.
how we can find commonality between us and share,
Mm.
right? The fact that you were able to haggle in Taipei,
Mm.
right? Like that's like a thing. Like, oh wow, haggling is a thing that happens like across the world.
Yeah.
So that's why it's so important. So when you say audience, I'm thinking of two audiences often. I'm thinking of the people who are my kids who are Asian like me, who want to feel seen in books. I didn't see that many books that where kids looked like me when I was growing up. I could count on one hand how many children's books that had Asian characters when I was growing up.
Mm.
And so I really wanted my daughter, I have a 4-year-old. I wanted kids who look like me to see themselves in books. So that was one audience I was really writing to, so that when I have those details, they're like, I know that. I've been to night market. But then the other audience were kids who weren't like me, but who had a dog, who loved food, so they could connect with me. Because a lot of times when I talked about Taiwan, people would say, oh, I love Thai food, which is actually from Thailand. So they didn't even know the difference between Taiwan and Thailand. And so like things like that, where I'm like, hey, this is an opportunity to expose people to a culture that's very unique on a little island, right? And so that's what it is. It's the importance of representation. Isn't just for those people who are being represented. It's so that people can learn more about different cultures. So I hope that answers the question. But yeah, it's that marriage of very unique, specific details combined with common themes that kids can connect with.
Right. No, being able to tell the story from that authentic standpoint, but also just curious too. I know, like you're somebody else working on your illustrations, you have your vision of the story. What spread or what surprised you the most? I know you mentioned, like, say, that little bit about the dress, your Arma's dress, and so like what other spreads like surprised you, or where you're like, oh my goodness, how our visions align?
Yes. So I will say this.
And I still have it here, so I can
Oh,
also.
thank you. I can let me pull to one spread here. This, I did not tell her to do this, but I had envisioned seeing just feet walking and from the dog's perspective. And I didn't use any words, and Amber did it. And the other thing I was so curious about was I struggled a lot because it's the night market, it's dark.
Yeah.
But I insisted that the dog be black because black dogs, much like black cats in the US, are considered bad luck. It's actually harder for black dogs to get adopted. And you'll notice too, if you ever go to a shelter, a lot of the dogs left are black. And I really wanted the dog to be black. But I knew that was going to be tricky for the illustrator to illustrate a black dog in a night market at night. So I was so impressed with how Amber used her craft to highlight the dog even in a dark black market. Notice what she did with the floor, the ground. She adds this light as if it's reflecting and bouncing off of the light from the stands. And against that light, GoGo pops out, right? So you'll see that here in that beautiful pink on the. We don't really see a pink floor when we go to the night market, but she used it to make it feel as if the whole scene was glowing. So I love that. And then this, I did not tell her to do this, but literally, this is how we pet our dog. This is how our dog approaches to ask for a pet. So clearly she did some research there to really, or she looked at a lot of Waldo's photos or his Facebook page, maybe. I don't know. But like she really did hers. And look at that beautiful rainbow color, right? So those pieces, I just like the lanterns, I don't know how she made paper glow. But if you are able to hold this, it's the cover, they put a spot gloss where it literally looks like the lanterns are glowing and sparkling. So I was just so impressed about how she was able to make this black dog pop in a night market and how she just used light to make it happen. And the last thing, all those signs with all that Mandarin, she looked that up. She did her research, and I even had my parents read it. and they would give her small tweaks, but she was pretty spot on
Spot
with the
on.
names on the stalls. Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that's amazing. I mean, just before this, we were talking about
Mhm.
that picture that I had that I was going to share, and I was just like, I just want to make sure that what I'm sharing here is right, it's clean, it's like, you know, like with
Yeah.
all these things. So yeah, it's and of course, looking at this book, I would not know, but it's just so good to know that too, that you've done that due diligence.
Yes. And
Yeah.
that's again being seen, right? Because if it's a
Mhm.
kid who's from this culture, they'll be able to read Hongdao bean, which is it's a red bean cake, right? You don't really see it
I
in the
read that. I
stalls.
could read that.
Yeah, you know what that is, but it's like almost like little Easter eggs for people from our culture. When they read it, they're gonna pull up like the hilarious thing that she added was this DVD sign, because I know that's like ancient like technology, but there's always a DVD stand. There's always a DVD stand. So like those little details just really bring this like these illustrations to life. It brings
Yeah.
an authenticity to it as
Yeah,
well.
go.
Yeah.
I was setting that. Now you have given me an idea. When I go to Zambia, I'll make sure to go to one of the markets, one of the biggest markets. It's actually called Town Center Market. It's right in
Yeah.
the center of town of Lusaka. And you will find the biggest CD and DVD collections ever. And most of them bootleg, but like, yeah, it is just
Oh, they're so bootlegged.
yeah,
I've
and
bought
there's like six
there's
movies, 20 movies in one. They're like,
they're
how did
so
you
bad. Like there was one we bought a set because my dad was like, "This is so cheap. It's $1." Right? I was like, "Okay, Papa." And we went and we played it, and it was literally someone filming the movie with their
yeah,
camera in the
yeah.
theater scene. So you see people getting up and walking
And what
past,
yeah.
and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is what they sell at the DVD stand." So those
Yeah,
little nuggets, it just adds so much like
yeah,
flavor to the
yeah.
scene. So yeah, Peter, it sounds like you need to write a book about like your night market adventures or your market adventures.
No,
So yeah,
my adventures for sure.
yeah,
And you like just for again for everybody that is joining us later on for
yeah.
the recordings, just a reminder that we do have our special guest today, Charlotte Cheng, who's
Hi.
celebrating with us today her brand new book, and of course you get to see more images later, Night Market Rescue, and I just love it, and of course we just read it as well, so go back to this video and read and read with Charlotte today. But of course too, ask for it at your local library, find it where you find books, and of course to support those small bookstores, those independent bookstores in your neighborhood. I know that mine here closest, this is the one that I love the most, is Marcus Books. So if you're in Oakland, you know where to go and try and find some of these books as well. You can order through them. But of course too, just lovely book. Thank you, Charlotte, really, for giving us a slice of Taiwan, giving us a slice of
Yeah,
yourself with this book. But
yeah.
and also just wondering two questions. One is what's next for Night Market Rescue, but then also two, um, with this book, what do you? I know you mentioned, kids seeing themselves, kids learning about other things, but what would, in an ideal world, where do you see Night Market Rescue, say 5 years from now?
Oh my, 5 years! Wow, that's so far away.
5 year plan.
Yeah, that's right. One thing is upcoming next. If you're in the Bay Area, I have that launch party in San Carlos at the Reading Bug. If you do stop by, please do. I'm giving out lots of like stickers, a boba bar. I have custom chocolates made. I partner with the Taiwanese chocolatier in the Bay Area. We make custom chocolates, and if you purchase a book from the Reading Bug, which you can find online, you also get a free GoGo pin. It's like a little pin of GoGo as well. So I wanted to give a shout out to the Reading Bug because they're my local children's bookstore. The 5-year journey. So I don't know. So it took 10 years to sell this book. And then within the span of 1 year, I sold 5 more. And so I actually have 6 books coming out over the next couple of years. So
Wow.
I see the future of Night Market as being part of a library of books. And that's what my editor, Lori Hornick at Rocky Pond, when she purchased this book, she's like, Charlotte, I want to make a library of books with you.
Aw.
And that's what's so cool, because that's the other thing to know is that any culture, any person, you have so many more stories to tell. It's more than one story, right? You have
Right.
more than at our task force, we did an exercise where we talked about each kid, each person has more than one identity. I'm a mom, I'm an author, I'm an
Yeah.
right. And Taiwan is the same. And so I want this to just be one aspect of the stories that I can share about Taiwan. So my upcoming book is called Roar Chu, illustrated by Caldecott medalist Dan Santat. And it's about the relationship between a dragon and a phoenix, which is a mythological story that's in Chinese and Taiwanese culture. And then I also wrote one called I Miss You Most, which is about my akong who I lost. And I'm going to, breaking news, announce that another book is called Ama's Purse, which is about my
First heard it on
grandmother.
story time.
You first heard, actually, this is the first time I'm sharing that Ama's Purse is coming out in 2026. So each of these is an aspect of my culture, of my background, of my unique voice. And so that's why in 5 years, I want Night Market to be loud and proud next to many other books that share so many different aspects of what it is to be Taiwanese, what is it to be ABC, American born Chinese, right? So that's my hope. That's my dream. So
No, love it. Thank you so much, Charlotte, and just wishing you great success, many more stories from you to us. Thank you so much. And also just I hope that those creative juices keep flowing, and just wishing you just many more storytelling sessions. Thank you. And congratulations again on your brand new book, Night Market Rescue, about 2 weeks old now. And I'm excited. I have my copy. I'll actually bring it today for signing because I didn't get to have it signed last time. So I'll make sure I bring it with me today. I'll see you at International Night.
Yes, and I'm reading.
I did the playlist, so
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna be a little late, but I'm also doing read alouds at the school in the afternoon, Peter. So maybe I'll catch you then too in the library. I wanted to give a shout out. I will definitely give Dr. Waldo a scratch under the neck. I promise. I'll say it's from Amanda. Okay, I'll say it's like
and
this
then we
was
have
from
Sarah
Amanda.
and Nathan there as well too.
And Sarah, this is from Amanda, Sarah, and Nathan. Waldo, you get a little neck scratch from the family. But yes, I will definitely sign your book, Peter. So definitely bring it. I will catch you. You'll be the DJ at the party. It'll be good.
Yes, I'm excited for it. I'm excited. Initially, I thought I was just putting the playlist together, and then I'm like, well, you will be playing the music. It's like, okay. So, yeah.
That's awesome. All right. But thank you
so
so
now
much
I have
for
to
having
think of, people have to find my DJ name. I need a DJ name right this minute. So if you have a DJ name, send it my way. And that's my other persona now.
I'll think about it. I'll come up with some names too. You're welcome, Tara.
Charlotte, thank you so much. And of course, to the Storytime family, the Storytime community, all you amazing people, thank you for being here with us. Pamela, Courtney, Braylon, Chad, Auntie Ann, Auntie Pam, of course, Amanda, Wes, Sarah, Nathan, thank you for joining in. Ari and Megan and Erin and Tara and Clara, thank you so much for joining in this morning. Absolutely appreciate you. And yes, we hope for many more story times here. God willing, we're back with many more stories, and we continue to celebrate Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. What does that mean to you, actually, Charlotte, since you're here? Just a little on that as well, because we've been trying here, and that was one of the things that I really grappled hard with this week, trying to commemorate something so big and do it justice, and also trying to make sure that and especially too, like talking to Lydia here too, who then she mentioned and usually the Pacific Islander bit is usually hidden. We say AAPI, but most of the times it's not as visible. And so just wondering, what does that mean to you? And also, for a person like me, trying to make sure that, at least I really bring it justice with voices from people that are actually, AAPI.
I agree. Pacific Islander voices are usually not as strong. I mean, and so I recommend checking out My Story, MAI Story. I don't know her full name, but she has actually bookless per country, often by Pacific Islanders,
Mm.
because it is such a broad community. I'm sure you feel the
Community, right.
same about Black History Month, and
Yeah.
you're like, how do you cram all of this in 1 month?
Mom.
I like to see it as a kickstart to a conversation that
Right.
hopefully will continue throughout the year,
Mm.
throughout people's minds. Like, it's just like an
Mhm.
introduction that hopefully it'll inspire you to go explore more. And when you see something of Asian American Pacific Islander culture, that you can connect with them more because you learned about it during this month.
Yeah.
And really, it's a really great excuse for our community to throw some pretty awesome parties. We have festivals everywhere across the Bay Area, and it's a great way to celebrate ourselves, where we spend some time going, yeah, we're awesome. And this is our culture, and we're gonna let it shine, right? And so I try to treat it like a positive. Like, I wish it was like, it really should be AAPI Heritage Year, Black Heritage Year, right?
Yeah,
throughout
no,
the year.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. No,
But yeah, but it's like a birthday. You know, people are like, why spend all your, why would you celebrate your birthday? You should be celebrating yourselves throughout the year. For me, it's a reminder.
it's a
Like, so
reminder.
AAPI Heritage Month, it's just a reminder to go, oh, right.
Right.
Like, this
Let's
is
be
part of our,
intentional and hopefully carry that in the year as we go.
yes. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sorry, didn't mean to jump in. I got excited there.
No worries. Like, you get it. You get it. Yeah. But no, I agree. So if you can, check it out. Check out your local newspaper, especially if you have an Asian American community near you. I bet you there's a festival. I mean, there's literally a festival almost every weekend, like this month in the Bay Area, to go celebrate. And so check it out, because you'll even run into some food stalls. So
right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, lots to learn. No, I appreciate you, Charlotte. Thank you so much. And I know too, apart from your writing, the work that you're doing, the serious work, the digging deep that is happening, not just with your books. Not that your books are not serious work, but like that too, like just the other aspects would say our school district and so on. And so just appreciate that. Appreciate you. Congratulations on this amazing achievement, and looking forward to the many books to come. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. And ditto to you, Peter. Peter is also doing amazing work, FYI. So
thank you. I'll catch you on the other side. Thank you so much for joining in. All right.
Bye, everybody.
That was Charlotte Cheng joining us today. Thank you so much for being here with us, friends. Absolutely appreciate you. And I know we've been here close to an hour, but it just flew right by. Thank you so much for joining in. Please remember to catch us again tomorrow when we have a life of service that will be coming to us tomorrow. The story of Senator Tammy Duckworth. And this one is written by Christina Suntervant and Dal Fomirak. Thank you so much for joining in. Excited for this one. Another one coming from Candlewick Press. I'll catch you tomorrow for more story time. Join in. Let's read together. Let's learn together. Let's have fun together. Thank you so much for joining in. Much love from me. And I will see you again tomorrow for more story time. Much love and bye-bye.
Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, it brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start our reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, He brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, you want to start all the reading. We just can't wait to be reading.